Welcome everyone, Mate Talk time. Let me just say that you're lucky that this is happening. And there's two reasons for it. It was this close to Mate Talk not happening this week. There's two reasons. One, you can barely see it here, but I'll tell you more about it at the end. And two, it's actually why the theme of Anniversary is all about, so I'll tell you that shortly. But first, announcements. The first announcement is that we do have a promo running to celebrate the 200th episode of Mate Talk. I hope you have a good drink to enjoy this little conversation we're going to have today. That promo is will run till the end of the month. Then there is a new segment that's coming up. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. It's all about inks and pen this time around. So we did watches last time. I've got something lined up with inks and pen. And then the last point there is another new concept that has been actually it was given to me by Ilias. Thank you, sir. Movie scent. I'll tell you more at the end. What does that even mean? I'll tell you more, I promise. All right, Anniversary. So today you saw the thumbnail. It's all about fragrances that you would select for an anniversary situation. And it could be your anniversary with your loved one. So a beautiful fragrance to take out to celebrate. Could be an anniversary that, like work or something like that, and you want to take something that's gonna give you a sense of celebration, a celebratory sort of fragrance or scent. As soon as you smell it, you think, yeah, I feel happy, it makes me feel good. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Now, the reason why this conversation came about is as follows. So here's the story. And this is the reason why you guys are lucky that this Mate Talk is going out today. Because yours truly is actually editing this. Hannah is away for the week. And that's because, here it goes, here's the story. We had just finished a shoot and Hannah's been working with me and the business as a whole for the past, what I had thought 4 to 5 years. And I said to her, how long has it been that you've been working with me? Not realizing that she didn't hear me correctly. And she responded, 3 years. And I thought, wow, 3 years. Why does it feel like so much more? I'm like, that's funny. She goes, yeah, and my anniversary's coming up, as in this week. And I thought, oh wow, that's pretty cool that your anniversary's coming up. I should buy you a cake. We should celebrate this at the office. And I remember that from the corner of my eye, she gave me this funny look, and the funny thing is that from that funny look that she gave me, I didn't sort of question it too much. And I thought to myself, that's unusual. And I'm like, it's a cake to celebrate her anniversary here at the office. I think that's a nice gesture, surely. I thought to myself. Anyway, started talking, and I thought maybe she misunderstood me. And I'm like, I'll pay for it, of course. I said, you don't have to buy this cake. And it'll be there to celebrate the fact that, you don't have to buy this cake. What kind of cake do you like? And so, again, she gives me a funny look, and she's like, well, I like all kinds of cakes, and I do like this, and I do like that. And then she said, and Josh also likes these kind of cakes. And I thought, and that's when I gave the funny look. I'm like, Josh, huh? Josh is her boyfriend. And I thought, Josh. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's gonna cut some slices for Josh and bring it home for him. Say, hey, we celebrated my work anniversary at the office. It took some time for both of us to realize that we were talking about two different things. And finally, it's like, oh, you're talking about your anniversary with your boyfriend. I'm talking about the anniversary of working here at the office. And then I said to her, it's weird that I would buy you a cake to celebrate your anniversary with your boyfriend. She's like, exactly. She goes, I was freaking out when you're like, you're gonna celebrate what else are you gonna do? You're gonna come over or something? Had a mental picture of me. Hello, happy anniversary. Anyway, so Hannah's away this week. Long story to tell you that Hannah's away, and as a result, it's yours truly who's editing. So guess what? I'm already at 4 minutes, but this is a short Mate Talk today, and I thought this also, I guess, motivated the conversation about having a beautiful fragrance that celebrates also anniversary. So Hannah, if you're watching, if you are, then bad, because you should be just chilling. Here are fragrances that I would recommend for you guys to, or not Hannah, but everybody's to enjoy. It's gonna get super weird. Oh, it's like that in their office. No, it's not. The first one that I would recommend to you is, I thought, I'm gonna start with the namesake, and it's Anniversario, which is in Italian anniversary. It does celebrate, so it is in fact in celebration of a particular pastry. It's called a California cake. I've never heard of it, to be honest. I even look for it to see if I can taste this California, because it sounds great. It has strawberry, has peaches, has cream. Supposedly it's a sponge cake, bada bing. So I'm like, I'm all in for that, but I haven't found it to this date. The bottom line is that the fragrance does give you that impression of that cake-like quality. It does have all those elements of the peach and the strawberry and the vanilla and this wonderful softness to the actual fragrance. For me, I discovered this fragrance 2 years ago. It was first love. One spray, bum, I was there. I'm like, whoa, this is absolutely glorious. It's one that I do love wearing as a going out. It is one that I do love wearing to make me feel happy. So this is a very uplifting, a very fun, a very playful, very easy wear fragrance. What I have heard, and I've shared this recommendation to friends and family, a lot of people do feel that it's a little bit feminine leaning. I disagree. I love wearing it. So this is a fragrance that I enjoy wearing. Having said that, Sandra does love wearing this fragrance too. Sandra, my wife, also enjoys it when I'm wearing the fragrance. Now, I have been on the dry down here for a little bit, actually across my whole arm. I'm gonna say this once for the essence of speed. So I've been wearing now the fragrance for about an hour and a half. And I'm in that cake-like quality piece to the actual fragrance. It does have a coconut in there, and I think it's that coconut that gives it a little bit more of that sort of pastry toasted kind of feeling to it. When it does open up, it gives you just a glorious and sunshine burst of those fruit notes of the peach and the strawberry. For me, the strawberry really accentuates itself. And then I find that even in the dry down, I'm still getting pieces of that beautiful fruit coming through. Not as pronounced, obviously, a little bit more pared back. I find that for me, I'm getting 7 to 8 hours without a problem. It is a confident moderate. When I'm wearing this fragrance, it does push itself out. It actually has great presence around me. And as a celebration, as a fun, just, you know, feeling really good about life and just want to celebrate it. This is my celebrate life fragrance. So it can be used at any time, and it's also great for winter or even summer. Boom, I do recommend. And also the fact that it's about celebration. Poof, moving through, baby. All right, the next one is now, I've spoken about this fragrance before too. This is Liquids Illuminaire. Yeah, I think that's correct. And the fragrance is Dom Rosa. Now, I know that there is a Dom Rosa Millésime that has come out. I haven't had a chance to smell that as yet. My understanding is that the Millésime is a lot more deeper and pronounced. It does stay longer. The one thing that people lament, which I don't see it as a problem. For me, this is not an issue. The people lament that it doesn't stick around for long. So it's a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. Personally, I think that is super cool. I don't have a problem with a fragrance that, you know, just does its thing for an event, for instance, and then, you know, just sort of moves away. It's a great office fragrance if you want something a little bit more subdued and subtle. This is a classic. This is a classic pairing of a rose and a champagne note. It's super impressive the way that they've created this metallic, this champagne feel to the fragrance. The thing about it, the thing about Dom Rosa also is that it is a subdued and subtle fragrance. And again, I go back. This is why I think Millésime has come out, or the second one has come out. You know, just to sort of check some boxes. Nowadays, everybody wants these big monster sort of fragrances. I like subtlety. I like the subtlety of this. I like the what it does when I'm wearing it. The other thing too is that this is another fragrance where I've shown many people. There is this episode here with Nelson. We did some blind smelling, and he actually adored this fragrance to the point afterwards he did take this for a while, and in true Nelson style, he hit it hard. He likes to, he has the, yes, I'm going to it. The bim bum boom. Okay, so what does the fragrance do? It is a little bit linear. All right, so it does start off with a very fruity opening, and I believe that might be pear, I think is the keynote in that opening. And then it goes into, but it is, so I wrote here, it's a dry fruity. Already that champagne element, that sort of metallic piece to it begins to already come in, and then the rose will present itself. It does become a very realistic rose. It's not very confectionery-like. It actually does have a very almost true to life sort of scent profile to it, but now intermingled with that champagne metallic nature to the fragrance. I've got a fragrance here, I'll tell you about it, and it is dominating, and I've got Dom Rosa here. Yeah, see, it's just killing it. I just got, let me open up, do this, the open again. The opening of the fragrance. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Come on, I gotta move fast. And see, it's just, okay, so again, this as its own entity, as its own subtle, subdued, delicate, it is all the pieces are here. The other thing too is I do have good memories of this. This is a beautiful suit up fragrance. This is a great fragrance to take to a wedding, for instance. It's a great fragrance as a celebration. It's something that if there is a moment of intimacy with you and whoever you're with, this is a fragrance that you want. It's not something that will push itself so deeply, but as people come close to you, it's just a beautifully delicate fragrance. And again, it's that metallic, I'm getting that dry fruit, pear, touch of rose coming through. And then as it dries down, that rose champagne sort of existence begins to take shape. For those, actually, here's another one. For men who might be a little bit shy when it comes to florals in their fragrance, Dom Rosa is a great fragrance in that regards because the rose isn't too over the top, too over accentuated. The balance is there is amazing. But yes, so you are getting about 5 hours, so heads up on that. If you want something a bit more push, check out Millicent, and I'm sure that that one there will be a great fragrance for you to check out. All right, now let's talk about this monster here. So moving on with this anniversary sort of concept and theme, I wanted to extend it now to the anniversary of the 1861 collection of Xerjoff, and where it celebrates Naxos, Renaissance, and Zafiro. Here, this is Decas. Now, Decas, when I first experienced it, I did not like it. This is the 10-year celebration, sorry. This is a 10-year celebration that came out to I guess, celebrate the release of those other three. When I first experienced it, I got this very just wild and crazy bubblegum sensation that was a mixture of a fruit and fruitiness with this tuberose note. Instantly, my nose went, whoa, tuberose, but then this, sort of playful funness that also was intermingled with that opening. The irony is that I now love that opening and I look for it. So where before I thought, whoa, too much, over the top, it's not something I really like, and it's a little bit way too playful for me. Now I'm like, you are so beautiful. You are so divine. And if anything, my nose actually hunts it down, so I'm covered in beautiful perfumes, and my nose seeks out the profile of Decas. I love that the evolution on this fragrance is absolutely glorious. So that nothing has changed, so that it still has that beautiful fruity opening, and it's that balance of that very juicy mandarin mixed in with that tuberose note, intermingled together. There is tobacco in that opening too, or there is I think a tobacco flower or something like that. And the truth is, I don't get that as, I don't get that as pronounced. I have heard some people go, oh, it's a wonderful tobacco. I don't get that. What I do get as the fragrance sort of begins to settle down 20 to 30 minutes and moves away from that bubblegum sort of playful funness, it does go into more of an earthy style, sort of wet, not grass, but wet foliage. That's how I wrote it down. Let me just make sure. Wet foliage. And so it's almost that slight earthiness, that slight dampness, from like a wet earth sort of a profile, but it doesn't go deeply into that area. So it doesn't become like a patchouli fragrance or anything of that nature. Actually, I think I even wrote like a patchouli, bubblegum. Yep. Okay. Now, if you want to know more of its deep evolution, of the way that this plays, what my interpretation, what this fragrance is actually about, what's it celebrating? Yes, it's celebrating the anniversary of those three, but I feel like there's a deeper story here. Have a look at this production. This will give you I put a lot of work into this one here. So just so you know, and I think the reason why I love this so much is that I took this as one of my fragrances when I went on a travel around in Italy. And when I smell this, I can picture being in Milan, I can picture being in Rome, I see sunshine, I see just joy and happiness and play and fun and all that sort of stuff. So as a beautiful, fun, celebratory style of fragrance that really makes you really happy on that first spray, I'd recommend it to you. If you're not comfortable with the opening, just be patient with it in the sense of give it another chance, you know, come back to it if it really is like this is too much for you, because I tell you, there is an addictive nature to this. Somehow it hooks, it puts its hook into you, and you just like, it's just glorious. And when it comes to bang for buck, Decas is amazing in that longevity. Okay, now we go into longevity and push 12 plus hours without a problem. You are going to get like a very confident moderate. It has great push. People are detecting the fragrance. When it dries down, it goes a little bit on the incense, but a little bit amber, a little bit incense. So it doesn't go deep into, so it's not an incense fragrance. Those early notes of that bubble gum, of that tuberose, of that playfulness stay within the fragrance. It does remain as a sunshine, happy fragrance to enjoy. Boom. Love this fragrance. Really, really enjoy it. I put here, transition is wild, and it's true because where it begins and then as it moves through, it is a joyous ride, and that's my exact words. One that I would highly recommend as a great celebration fragrance. You know what? I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna start capturing, and then I'll be right back. I'm back. Now, the next two are, what better way to celebrate anything, any form of anniversary than with champagne, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. And I thought, let's bring forward two fragrances that celebrate the very concept of champagne and things of that nature with Xerjoff's Louis XV, the masculine version, I guess, and then the more female version with the Rosé. Just so you know, there are no such things. In my opinion, you wear what you love, because I actually wear the Rosé, even though I said, but if you want to do a man-woman sort of scenario, you can try these two out. Now, let me go first with Louis XV, the first one that came out. Have a look at this production here. Well, there's two productions. This one here, we did the unboxing, and if you watch the response, the first response from Sandra and myself, we were both a little bit confused in the sense of the opening of the fragrance because, and I wrote it all down, this opening is aromatic, it's spicy, it's boozy, it's green, it's sharp, it's medicinal, and it's a bitter citrus that comes through. Now, interestingly, all those different pieces are all happening within, I don't know, the first 30 minutes. You know, you get ba, jung, boom, jing, it just moves around. It doesn't sort of go, oh, here I am, I'm, you know, a pear or a fruity scent profile. There's all these things that are just coming. And if you watch that episode, Sandra's response is, all she could smell was this green, medicinal, herbal, you know, just really just in your face. If you want to look at the more sort of deeper breakdown, and then now I've had a chance to wear it, you can watch this production here. I did a lineup on a number of Xerjoffs that I absolutely adore, and this is, I'm just gonna call it a joyous masterpiece. If you haven't had a chance to check out Louis XV, please check this out. Yes, it is a little bit more masculine leaning. The things like the aromatics, the woods, the slightly leathery sort of touch on the dry down, you know, things of this nature, traditionally leans a little bit more masculine, but I don't see why a woman can't wear it. Sandra, my wife, does not wear this. This is a fragrance I love and really, really enjoy wearing. This is one that, and again, it's a celebration of champagne. I don't know how this is champagne. I'm just gonna put it out there. Some people say that they get like a fizzy, bubbly, metallic a profile at the end. I don't experience this at all. What I do get is the best sort of drink that I can compare it to is an Angostura. Did I say that right? Anyway, this. That sort of very spicy and medicinal and a little bit herbal and sharp in its profile. That's the sort of scent profile that I get. It's always alluring. It's always enticing. It's a fragrance that when I am wearing it, people around me are very much aware of it. It doesn't have a massive push, so it's a very sort of a quiet moderate. However, the moment I begin to heat up or the moment that I move around, most fragrances do sort of come alive again, but I find that this one here really re-emerges. I've talked about a story of when I went overseas, I was wearing it as my fragrance. I mean, for us to from Australia to Europe, it's like a 26-hour sort of experience. I was at the Roman airport pulling my luggage out, and I could just, the Louis XV was popping on me, 26, 27 hours down the road. And even to the point where Sandra was even going, I can smell your fragrance. Did you refresh your spray? So it gives you an idea of the presence, the longevity that this fragrance has. And it's a statement maker, but in a much more subdued way. Unlike, say, Anniversario or even Decas, where they just sort of like, you know, they really sound the trumpet, make a lot of noise. If you want to know more, check out this production that I did. I really went into a lot more detail. But one, as an anniversary or as a going out to celebrate something, I'd recommend to you Louis XV for the boy, and now for the ladies, Rosé. It's a brand new inclusion. Again, have a look at this. We do an unboxing on an annual basis with Sandra. Sandra hates it because one, she doesn't like being on screen, and two, she hates spending money, bada bing. And so for her, this whole experience is not a joyous one. I have to really coax her to actually be part of this. And her first experience, and this is the other thing, Sandra, it takes a little bit for her to actually enjoy something. Her first response is, nah, not for me. And I'll go into more detail. I'm going to share something very personal. I proposed to her years and years ago. She took 3 months to say yes to me. I mean, we had been dating for quite some time. This is quite... Sandra, if she watches this, I'm a dead man. I proposed to her and she said, let me think about it. True story. Until I finally gave her the ultimatum. I said, this weekend, you got to make the call. It's yes or no. Maybe I'm going to take that as a no. So where do we stand on this thing? And I'm glad she said yes, because she's the love of my life. Anyway, so it does take Sandra a little bit to sort of tip over into something new. And when she first experienced this, she's like, bleh, not for me. We were both detecting like a fruit cherry note, and the funny thing is, once you put something in your brain, at that time I was seeing like a very pulp, very deep red cherry, very juicy and full. In fact, it's a combination of pear and blackcurrant, and there's another fruit note in there. It's very delicate. It's actually quite a sublime opening to a fruit. There's another great fragrance out there called Impalia BDK, where now Impalia could almost be the older sister or brother to this fragrance here. Impalia starts off very like just strong and bold. That pear note really comes out. The rose is sort of following and not too far behind. Whereas here, it's been pulled back and very subdued. I can't wear Impalia anymore. That's a fragrance that Sandra has adopted as her own. So for me, I find it very overtly feminine. Whereas Rosé is one that I've been wearing. Now, back to my story of not liking something, Sandra. I was wearing this the other day in preparation for today. I came in to the house and instantly she said to me, you smell amazing. What are you wearing? I said, well, I was actually wearing two fragrances. I said, well, I'm wearing Anniversario and I'm wearing this other one, I said to her. She's like, let me smell. So she smelled Anniversario and she's like, it's that, but it's not that. And she's like, I'm getting a rose. I'm getting this beautiful, sublime rose. I already knew where this was going. So I had it on my chest. I sort of fanned my jumper so that the sillage could pop out a bit more, or the fragrance could pop out a bit more. She's like, what is that? That's gorgeous. And I just looked at her. I said, it's the one that you hate, the one that you just absolutely dislike completely. So Rosé, beautiful, sublime, fruity rose expression. There is a sugariness in there too. There is some sort of like a white powdered sugar sort of effect to it. There's a drink that I love getting, which is elderflower, and the one that the elderflower, it's sort of distilled or something or other. It becomes a concentrate. But I've got one that has a hint of rose, and it's this beautiful elderflower, sort of sugary. It has a unique taste, but now intermingled with this rose is what I get from here. This gorgeous, sublime, delicate rose with like a sugar coat on it, a touch of that fruit note of the pear and the blackcurrant. That pretty much remains throughout the fragrance. I do find that it is a little bit linear, unlike, say, Decas, where it bounces around, and Anniversario. I find that where I begin here, even though the fruit might begin a bit more forward, as it begins to dry down, it stays pretty much in that sort of line, which I don't mind because I do enjoy the very subtle sweet rose scent that this actually produces. Let me smell. I do get like just then I got like a touch of greenness in there. There was I almost had a picture the rosebud closed with the green sort of stem around it. So it's almost like it's compact. The scent profile is nicely compact. It hasn't quite opened up yet and pushing its full scent power out to you. So it's all contained in here. And that fruit, that pear, that the almost metallic nature to that pear is definitely coming through. It's a really beautiful fragrance, a really beautiful fragrance. So 2 fragrances with a champagne celebration sort of feel to it. Louis XV, please test it. This is a showstopper. This one here, a lot of people talk about Xerjoff not getting creative enough. You know, they're just trying to do, you know, just more commercially hitting fragrances, which sure, I get it. I mean, it's a business, they got to sell. But if you want a creative, back to their creativity, check this out. This is a little bit more predictable. So it is a rose scented fragrance, but it's a very subtle and subdued rose that anybody can wear, man or woman. Boom. Now, last one. Now, this one here is in celebration, but it's actually selfishly, I'm celebrating something that happened for me. So let me just first put it out like this. If you are having your celebration as an anniversary with your loved one, Tonka Bodykon is the most seductive date night fragrance you're likely to experience. A blend of this wonderful vanilla cocooning sort of effect to it with that sort of Tonka warmth that it has. It also has this wonderful caramel sort of layer that runs through it. It also has like an apple brandy sort of effect. It doesn't go overtly sort of boozy or anything of that nature. It is, and I did use the word cocooning because it does have a very warm, inviting, think of a warm hug with someone that you absolutely love in your life, and that tenderness that comes from that hug. That's Tonka Bodykon. It is one, I just love it. It's just a glorious fragrance. I have spoken deeply about this fragrance many times. Here's another production in which I really sort of elaborated a lot deeper. I did discover this when we were in Paris. Again, it was another one where I was in the boutique. First spray, I'm like, put it on my tab. I just love this style of fragrance. If you like vanilla fragrances, but are not overtly, you know, sugary and dessert-like, just very subdued and warm and inviting. I mean, for me, vanilla is a very aphrodisiac style of scent profile. You can see that I've hit it pretty hard. I mean, I have a generous collection of fragrances, and yet I've hit that really, really well. The reason why I wanted to include it, other than the fact that it's a beautiful date night and beautiful anniversary style fragrance to celebrate with a loved one, is because this is a fragrance that I actually built. So this is now a second version. This is Tonka Bodykon that I bought in Paris. I had the privilege of meeting Pierre Guilliaume, went to his atelier in Clermont-Ferrand, and he said to me, surprised me, we were filming together, and he says, would you like to build? And he goes, I've heard you talk about Tonka Bodykon. I know that you love it. What if we built it together? So this production here, if you haven't had a chance to watch, is me seeing the full formula. So he showed me these formula, and then seeing how to bring this to life. So this is one that I created myself. Pierre was kind enough to write by Marcelo, The Apprentice. It is a prototype. He didn't want me to sell it. I'm like, I'm never going to sell it. Don't worry about it. And this is the one that I'm wearing today. So in fact, I'm wearing my own created or built Tonka Bodykon from Pierre Guilliaume. One that I'd recommend to you, something that is quite sublime and beautiful to wear. Anniversary is done. Boom, boom. So there's my recommendations for 6 amazing fragrances that you can use to celebrate something special. Love to hear your thoughts on these particular ones here that I've put forward. If you have experienced them, give me your feedback. I do love, I mean, not that I want to argue with anybody, but I do love hearing other people's views. I mean, sometimes there's a perception from my end. For instance, I have heard a lot of mixed reviews on Rosé. I like it, so just give you a heads up. I like it, I've been wearing it. I do get a lot of response from it, in particular from Sandra. So yeah, I mean, it's a great fragrance to enjoy, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in response to that. I'm gonna stop one last time, capture this, And then we're gonna close this baby down and back. In closing, if you've enjoyed this review and this conversation, I'd love you to subscribe. It's a great support to the channel. And actually, if you can share it with someone that you love as a recommendation of some anniversary fragrances, that would also be awesome. Now, we've got a promo running in celebration of the 200th Mate Talk, something that was only meant to last 4 weeks. It turned out to be a staple of the NFC channel. The promo is that you have a chance to win a full bottle of this Electric Woods Extrait. Room 1015 is the brand. The way you can do that is all you got to do is put in Mate 200 or even the 200 and then the Mate emoji. It's purely so that we can quickly identify you. We'll put your name into that drawer. Now you'll see, here it is, there's a wedge. That wedge gives you 1 entry essentially. Now, if you would like to have more presence on the wheel, notice this wedge here that is a bit bigger. The way you can do that is by taking a photo of me in the background, Mate Talk. I don't have to be the focus. I'm happy for you to focus on whatever is in the foreground. And I love that some of the photos actually have like a mate or something of that nature. Then just tag me. The handle is nfc.perfumes. I'll repost that. If you don't have a social account, send me the photo. I'll post on your behalf. I'll just write who it's from. That'll then give you 3 entries on that wheel. And so if it lands on you, now we've got another 2 or 3 weeks before the promo ends. If it lands on you, you will win this Extrait Electric Woods, but you'll also win the Olfactive Traveler OT Travel Set. Now inside here, so if you might not know, I released a brand. Olfactive Traveler is the brand. There are 3 fragrances that we released in the initial burst. We're about to release 2 new fragrances. And so in fact, I'm gonna take these 2 out. Your Traveler that you'll win will have one of the fragrances from that previous collection, plus 2 new ones, the 2 new ones. You'll be the first in the world to experience this. So yeah, there it is. Thinking my brain's like, and what's gonna happen next? Well, nothing. What's gonna happen next is that you'll win both. So if it happens to land on you and you have 3, you'll win the Electric Woods, and plus you win the brand new fragrances from OT for you guys to enjoy. Boom, there it is. Any questions? Any questions on that? Just write in the comments. I think I explained. To a character. So let's elaborate on this. Last week I spoke about Melancholia. I got a lot of responses, people going, I love that movie. It's a very, it's not a very common film. So I was actually really happy that some people have already experienced this film. It's an absolute masterpiece. If you haven't had a chance, go watch that. That's now niche movie making. So what I thought, let's do this. Let's do movie scents. I'd love you to, here's the homework. I'd love you to go out and watch The Shining. So we're gonna do, the first movie we're gonna do is The Shining. This is, for me, an absolute classic. It is so layered. There's so many things going on other than the movie itself. So I'd love you to go to watch that. In about 3 weeks' time, and I'll give you a date next week, let's get together and let's talk about. So there's 2 ways we can do this. One, I'll just then share with you in Mate Talk what I'm smelling in different scenes, what people are wearing, what's this actual, different elements of the film, what are we detecting? But I also would like to have a conversation, and that is, so I have got an NFC Discord, and on that Discord, I actually want to do a bit of a get together essentially. I'll share more. Now that I've sort of set the parameters, I'm actually already in conversation with my Discord people, wanting to do, I'm calling it a town square meeting. So all of us get together, have a chance to hang out, talk about perfumes, talk about anything else that you want to talk about. But in this case, the mission is watch the movie The Shining, and then let's have a little bit of fun with this. So it's just for a little bit of fun. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think this could be. I'd like to elaborate it, maybe a movie a month, like a book club sort of thing, and we can explore something different. Last thing, because I gotta edit this thing. Last thing, I was planning not to do Mate Talk this week. So for those who know, I have a beehive. And I love my bees. I love because they produce this wonderful thing here. And it's glorious. This is their natural honey. It's fully organic. It's cold pressed, so meaning that the enzymes and vitamins in here are just phenomenal. However, for those who know bees, they are a creature unto themselves. A lot of people say, do your bees know you? Do they love you? Even though I do take very good care of them and I do watch over them and things of that nature, the lifespan of a bee is actually 2 weeks. So they die after 16 days or so. So the short answer is no, the bees do not know me. I am a foreigner and I am an enemy to their hive, period, full stop. The other day I was in a hurry. One thing that you never do is go to the beehive with any level of intensity, of just craziness, because for 2 reasons. One, you might miss something. I mean, they're a small creature. And 2, you let off, they work on smell. The whole thing, everything about a bee is all worked on pheromones. And so when you're in a hypo mood, and even to the point where if I go and open up my beehive, I purposely wear no perfume. I try to lower my vibrations to be calm, all that sort of stuff, because all that stuff sets off the bees, makes them, super intense. I came back from a ride. I was sweating and I was in a hurry because there's a million things happening. As a footnote, we made a few mistakes, and so both Kevin and I are like, we need to slow down because it's just getting, anyway. So I was in a hurry. I just finished, I got off this ride and I saw that around my beehive, the grass was growing, and I just wanted to whip a snippet, sort of clean that up for the girls. But I came at it like a madman, and I got my whippersnipper and started za 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 za. And all of a sudden, I had 2 or 3 of these guard bees come at me, and they come straight for your face, basically. And I thought, okay, no, all good, girls. I'm like, you'll land. I'll leave you alone. However, I was still too hypo, too intense. I hadn't seen that one of them had already come towards me earlier. Or because I heard a sound, but with the whippersnipper, you're missing, and bop, I got this sting in my face. I got it right here. I've still got like a little welt. So a bee sting at the best of time is not a great thing. People say, are you allergic? The bottom line is we're all allergic in the sense of that you get some kind of allergic reaction. And am I anaphylactic towards it? That I am not. So thank goodness. Otherwise, my breathing will stop and my lungs, my throat would expand, all that sort of stuff. So we all get an allergic reaction, but some people get a very anaphylactic reaction to it. Anyway, I got stung in the face. Bad idea, because this area here is, you have to protect it because it's too close to your brain. Anyway, bop, I got stung. And like a hero, I wanted to show Sandra that I had a bee sting in my face. So I walked in. Like, oh, check it out, I got a bee sting here. And this is not a good idea because, and at the time I thought you should take this out because it's not a good idea to have that much bee poison so close to your face, but I was being a hero. So what happens is that when the bee stings you, it has an involuntary movement, the sting does, and think of a barb, so it has like a barb sort of a nature to it on both sides. But so it runs independent. So it's 2 actual things, and it does this little chick, 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 and that's so it can dive in deeper into its enemy, essentially. So it pop, and if the bee were to die, which it happens because our skins are so strong, we flick it, kills the bee. Unfortunately, the sting stays there, and involuntary, tuck, 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 the thing starts to dive in deeper, pushing out more poison into you. Anyway, I just wanted to show, look, check this out. Sandra's like, oh my gosh, take that off. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take it off. Ha ha, look at this, funny. Anyway, I took it off. But my brain's going, you stupid, you dum-dum, that's dangerous. Well, it turns out that I broke out into, had a massive allergic reaction. Not anaphylactic ones, I didn't have to go to hospital. But I got hives all over my body. Also another thing, don't scratch because that's not a good thing. But I was covered in all these welts across my arm, my legs, and my face had blown up. Think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That was me. Thank goodness I just took like an antihistamine thing and that sort of settled it down. Sandra has these, she believes in these oils. I believe in them too. And so I did the oils and all the rest of it. But yesterday I was already swollen. It was coming down. I think I'm better now. I'm still a little bit puffy on this side. But I was going to not do mate talk. And then this morning, my director, this guy, he's like, don't be a softie. Get in there, do what you got to do. And so here I am doing mate talk. Anyway, that's my story. Hope you enjoyed mate talk today. Yours truly is editing, and I'm looking forward to now saying goodbye and starting over there. Hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing everybody on the next mate talk next week. Bye, everyone. Hannah will be back.